Yep. So we have Pirate's Cove for the blue coin with Lerio and a Dauren with the Nature's Gift on the red coin. Good start with the Tempest being in hand, although doesn't really have access to the Orshuan unless the council is committed very early, but that is super sketchy. Lerio got to be happy having access to one pulling the strings in hand, as well as, both pulling the strings, both BGFs, as well as the mutant maker. So should not really have much of a problem getting the gains and the pulling the strings across and set up here. And does use the final mulligans to ensure the casino bouncers are not bricked as well.
You and me, we ain't
So,
done yet.
Okay.
BGF's taking the lead here. We'll see if the Bloody Good Friends are able to get bloody good value.
They need protection from them.
And yeah, no brawler in this list means Hamadryad to lead with here is a pretty safe play. Although it can always get damaged down if the Bloody Good Friends decide to use their insanity and spending. So we could see a mutant maker played and then even pulling the strings once something is set up at 4 power.
Yeah. So different queue this time around. First match between the players we've seen Syndicate against Syndicate, but this time change comes with Dauren taking gift.
Digits dropped off. Now we must sew them back on.
Okay, so you cannot really protect your tags without the candle, which means that yeah, we do see Rebuke going on to the mutant maker and making a treant. Does it qualify as a mutant of sorts?
Maybe. So it's an earlier rebuke. Like typically, you might expect that the rebukes would want to be safe for the little birds, but with the earlier rebuke, maybe this little bird has a better chance surviving. Does play all on one row to try to play around the threat of that Tempest. But with Little Bird being the lowest power unit, Tempest would kind of be able to set up the kill onto her in a few turns' time. And it does end up taking the Blind Eye tag here, since, yeah, there's no way in hand to really get that Blind Eye.
Get me work.
Okay, so
Okay.
Bates the second control out of Dauren. I'm not sure if Bates is actually the correct description, but well, the control is being used actively by Dauren in first turns of this match.
So effectively, in like the trade between this Eskel being played and then the second BGF, Dauren has sort of extended the lead by 7 points. Or I guess caught up by 7 points, now is in the lead before even playing the card here. Even more control. And yeah, no Purifying deck means that lock is guaranteed to stick around. I believe the Little Bird still counts as a Blind Eye.
Yeah, the tag category or category tag is not being, the infusion is not being locked here, so you have your benefits for pulling the string if you amass a required amount of tags to steal something. Also, yeah, a reminder that this is final, best of 5, so 3 wins for player to qualify for Gwent Open number 2. That happens on May 18th, if I'm not mistaken. This is the last match of the day, so second final. Quite important to win here, otherwise you'll have to play top 32 qualifiers to get to the same event. We see Lerio spending here. Not by clicking Tiger Side though, which... any particular reason for that? Putting it at 2 power? Well, you could have spent some coins from Tiger Side instead. Like now it's just...
I mean, maybe the Tiger's Eye is being saved for the Shady Vendor? I
guess so, yeah. I guess he plans to play it out, but yeah, now he loses the categories and pulling the string is...
setting its own power is really bad into this fog now.
Could have at least put it at 1 instead then.
Yeah.
If you were just expecting, but maybe I'm missing something.
Good luck. Not too much.
Hamadryad is sadly for Lerio not really a part of any gang, and she will be also dying next turn, so they couldn't really properly initiate her into any of the gangs.
Yeah, I don't know if it was conscious, but Dauren did have the choice to play the Hamadryad opposite the row to where Lerio played their first unit. And that does end up mattering with the eventual pulling the strings coming through, and then this Tempest being developed. So getting more value in that sense. Just to now make it a bit easier to keep going after using all these control tools. Now Dauren is actually setting up engines in the form of this Knight Fledgling. And a few leaders being used too. Tunnel Drill comes down, and it is a different tag. So now they're back to 4 tags total. So maybe it doesn't matter as much that the BGF was killed off. And it looks like, the CGF, you don't want it to die to the fog. It's your only sort of boosty spender and also your only Tide Cloak tag right now.
Okay, so by the looks of it, 3-head officer should be the pick here. Others were not really playing for 5 value. And yeah, the Tide Cloak is dying nonetheless with this found damage. Pulling the strings. There's a blind eye, Crown Splitter cut up, so can steal the fledgling. And spend again, doesn't matter. Well, the point gap wise maybe, but you need the, as you mentioned before, the shady vendor coins. The funds should be kept for moving the shady goods.
Yeah, and I can't. It just every time Lerio plays the pulling the strings, there's just one less coin coming in compared to all the other curve lists we've seen in this tournament. I believe, because that Tide Cloak tag is just not in the deck, so the pulling the strings is only having that 5 value, and it's just little bits here and there, which just make it a little harder to just maintain that lead.
Yeah.
It could very well be the deal of a lifetime.
No Salamander for the Stolen Mutagens. Misses the pulling the strings here. I don't think. I mean, Eavesdrop is maybe not terrible, but. I don't know, none of this seems particularly amazing.
Okay, so takes the Purge. Okay, yeah, that works. Into the kill of Knight Keeper, right?
Yeah.
But here comes the Philowanderal, and I would believe that the Frog Mating Season will be used
Surely
on the Knight. No?
No.
Ah, okay. Yeah, you can just buff something else. Wait. Okay, Philowanderal is a 7 power himself, so are we witnessing another 50-50 roll?
Not even 50-50 now, that Vitality.
Yeah, the Moran is also 7, so...
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Frog's helping set up another potential collusion target. Okay, if Leo commits collusion, I doubt you'd be expecting to actually gain the round win off of it. You'd basically just be saying, okay, I commit collusion and I trade for last card. And
yeah.
We can see it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Unless I'm severely undervaluing the collusion, and it would be enough, but...
Okay, at
able
least
to
he
make
hits.
the 50-50. But you can't even spend here unless you use your leader.
Wait.
Didn't have a Tide Cloak on board. Oh, didn't even have a Tide Cloak on board for the Kalush.
For harvest.
Wait, what the? Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, yeah, that wasn't counted.
Actually, would have done it. It would have done it because the Ocean wasn't played. This Night Fledgling sucked. Oh no. If the Tide Click was just used before Collusion, you actually get profit. You're able to get the kill. You're able to actually spend after getting coins from the bounty. But it doesn't happen. So now Symbiosis likely just runs away with the victory. You can't even overguard on an empty board on the dry pass here.
Choke the embers.
But Dauren just goes hammered right, and we've seen him play in Seamless before.
Yeah, just hammer dried into double Spring Equinox is so many points.
Doesn't use the leader charge on it, but Junior is a card, so I guess. Do we see an all-in or do we see a pass? Nah, yeah. This is Dauren we've seen. There is fall into a tutor as well. No. Okay, there was no. Council was already spent.
You are no lunet of mine.
But bam, you probably you don't have your leader to create at least something in terms of attack. Only Novigrad 35 plus points behind. You definitely spend 2 cards, your opponent, and good cards at that, to close the gap, and your opponent has Gort rocks.
Yeah.
From 4 most likely. Something else. Our opponent also might decide to play Gort.
Yeah, probably need to high roll some poison from location potentially, or go failed experiment, then find the Fistek Trafficker from the Siggy and have enough coins. Actually, yeah, actually no. Siggy can either get the Fistek Trafficker or do Furco into Fistek.
So
So
yeah, that's
maybe you use the
16
spend
point kill.
on the failed experiment, click the Nova Guard to get an additional gain card, then use the Siggy to try to not overprofit too much. Oh.
Okay, so Dauren is not playing games, decides to put everything out here. If your opponent somehow can make the 30 plus point gap, then maybe they save Jacques for the next round and you'll struggle. Although you still have Gort and CA most likely. Okay, Crown Splitters.
I'll rip and tear until you're done for.
You do spend 2 categories on the board. Is it somehow winnable now for Lerio? I'm not sure about this Gort commitment. Lerio would have been put through the same motions more or less.
The beast shall be born, the blood of innocence.
Artistic purity is purest in all Novgorod.
Although, yeah, Jacques was, I guess, needed, and Ferko is not that amazing.
I mean, this should still be pretty easy win for Nature's Gift. You have Frog Mating Season, which is amazing in this short round. You still have Oshwin, by the way. And then Foul just to guarantee that consistency.
But I guess she's not that amazing in a short round. She done okay,
sure, not amazing, but even on deploy, it's still not bad. Okay, we cleaned up by the horse, I suppose. I think frogs are too much, though. Also, spending is a problem. Actually having a spender for Lerio here isn't easy. Horse and Junior might help a bit, but probably trying to find Eventide Plunder on the front row here. And it's just way too many coins.
Extractor, at least for the coins, but also not good. So at least you can kill the treants.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we've nattered enough.
It does make frogs a little less good.
Yeah, like non-existent at the moment.
Well, I mean, but the
Well,
thing
at
is
the
then this
moment,
Night
yeah.
Pond Keeper, yeah. 1 point. Last play. Yeah. Oh. And yeah, having the Fab to have the additional body the same turn you play the frogs is just so good here.
Wait, yes, and he won't let us talk to strangers.
Yeah. I'm super surprised the community decided to buff frog mating season. Like, I know it goes wide, but like the turn you play it plays for 10 points, correct? And then 2 points the following turn, no?
What's not to like?
I mean, I'm just comparing it to Axel. Axel is considered potentially too strong for a very long time at 11 points. I mean, granted, Axel can go straight on an empty board, but Frog Mating Season has that nature synergy. It's super good here. And it's enough for, yeah, Dauren to secure that win over Lerio in the game one.
Okay, so Aristocrat is present here. The thing to note is, once again, the Eskel not being able to deal with any of the Wild Hunt elves, but there are things in the deck. Like, look at this ancient Foglet.
A necrophage.
Yeah.
And yes, certainly no necrophages being run in this symbiosis list. But, and Morbid is a relic as well. And I mean, Lord Riptide is an Ogroid, though I don't expect it to be on the Ogroid. No Eskel right now, however.
Yeah.
Does make this Ancient Foglet a lot safer. It should get out of range of a Rebuke immediately. Although if it only goes to 7, then it might be vulnerable to like a Tempest Rebuke combo.
Yeah. I was leading to this Aristocrat being protected from Eskel, so it gets buffed out of the Rebuke range as well. Hamadryte at 6 is, well, you can always kill something with Imlerith's Wrath, but not really a priority.
It would be giving a lot of value over to the Riptide, but I think at some point you're always playing into the Riptide. Like Hamadryte or Ocean will always kind of be the toss unit on your side of the board. You probably want to have the Hamadryte kind of going down first, to then protect the Ocean from the Riptide if the opponent tries to hold. Although now, do you play the Ocean straight away here? Do you play it same row? Because then you'd be kind of playing into the Wrath, or do you go for something entirely different here? In the Saskia.
I don't remember. I don't care.
Yeah, Riptide here would have been probably a consideration immediately. Okay.
Could be Leader Wrath here will clean up one of these units as well as the Young Dryad. Does look like Dauren is hovering that leader. I don't know if we'll see... okay, or just kill the Young Dryad itself there.
What a demented thought.
The +2 duration from these aristocrats.
Pierce both your hearts and minds.
No Bruiser. You definitely wouldn't want to like burn the second leader charge here.
But there are movements inherently for these aristocrats, so decent number of options. And a transpawns on the other regardless.
Yeah. I mean, like in terms of potentially dealing damage and killing stuff off, but I guess three rounds of Frost, it also makes sense to just move things there and to get the full value from it.
Yeah.
Now we do see that Saskia is a warrior. She is just being kept here without the click. Maybe to combine things later. Okay, Oquen is not allowed to stick though. Hamadryte was okay. The Saskia, yeah, I'll allow it. But as soon as Oquen comes, Dauren is like, or Imler it goes, no, enough of this, enough I said.
Like, usually try to see if you can get the Orchard to stick before the Tempest. I mean, it might have been an argument to try and get an additional Symbiosis or two using these Pond Keepers or the Night Fledgling, but just says, I want to get this Frost ticking, I want to try to secure a kill onto this Winter Queen. Because, yeah, if a Red Riders or an Odd Gaith came down right now, that would be a lot of turns of Frost with these Aristocrats. But looking at Dauren's hand, there are very limited avenues to actually establishing this Frost. And really, Aradin is the only way to put Frost onto the board, except for the leader, or if you commit the Eternal. But those latter options you don't really want to do here in this round one.
We do see Saskia click, but Treant is the target of Nature's Caress. Hamadryad is just chilling there with no Frost. Okay, we do see there's another leader, and I guess the Navigator to save the Winter Queen. Does it make sense with Pond Keeper? Yeah, so Lerio was trying to grow the Treant, but Frost will be preventing that. But it dies to, yeah, to the weather, as you mentioned.
Yeah. So it kind of helps keep the balance a little bit.
So that's commitment from Dauren, but it doesn't sound like it's going to work out in his favor.
Awfully much. Yeah, these Aristocrats are quickly just not doing very much more. This Ancient Foglet is looking, well, very sad. Kind of been a bit slow to wake up from its ancient rest.
Yeah, it's very sad. No. It's a bit confused, looking around.
Yeah. Hand is a little awkward though for Lerio with the Simless and the Break Spring Equinox in hand. I don't think this is a matchup where you'd want to use the Simless for the double Circle Life or double Rebuke necessarily, but yes, I have been surprised before, and I may be surprised again.
Yeah. Like, look, double Rebuke Seamless onto the Foglet. Who says no? Or maybe Lerio. Maybe Lerio says no.
Is potentially the time where Night Fledgling next to the Hamadryad could be good. Lerio might say yes to that.
Yes, well, good advice given by Lemon. So if you are in need of a lesson of Gwent, contact Lemon right now and get a 10 lesson session at a discounted price, probably. You need to lure people with a little bit of discount. Nobody knows what the price is at the moment, but it's definitely 10% off if you call Lemon now.
Yeah, the price is certainly better than anything you would have had to pay with Syndicate crowns.
Okay, so interesting rounds all around. Well, the previous game it kinda was interesting and then ended to be quite confusing with Tight Cloak, but here, yeah, players... well, Dauren is already out of leader, there is no Frost, almost no Frost on the board, and Tirnalia is being committed. The Riders is still not out. But I guess the dominance shouldn't be challenged. And yeah, as you mentioned, Lerio has Seamless Spring Equinox combo broken in hand. Would prefer just keeping Seamless and play everything else out.
Yeah, this combo is broken literally because it's broken up between the deck and the hand. Yeah. And late Pond Keeper decision. Just to keep going cheaply here, able to get ahead. Although if you really want to win the round, likely we'll have to commit Philibandrel because it's very cheap for Dauren to just play out these Wild Hunt Riders. I think absolutely no reason not to do so. Actually even commits the Red Riders. Okay. So likely, replaying the Navigator here. But
Okay, so
because these aristocrats only give the additional frost at the end of the turn, this navigator does end up being pretty sad. And this Nagfar's crew is now offline because the frost is all on the back row. Now this might be too big of a point gap for the Vandal to bridge, but I mean, so much of the efficient ways to give frost were already taken away by Lerio, with both leaders internally are being fully used up. It's not nearly as great using like your Ardgaith and your Red Riders to apply the frost.
can Lerio consider that the situation is I'm losing the round, and the only way to stop it is to rely on Seamless into something else? So Philavandrel and Spring Equinox as two potential plays might get him out of here, with Hamadryad being present as well, but decides not to tempt the draws later as well. Just mulligan the second Equinox and have a pretty solid claim for one of the rounds that you need to win.
Yeah, I'm happy we didn't see a similar rope last minute decision to the first game. That could have been atrocious. Interested to see what kind of mulligans Lerio does choose. Surely the Spring Equinox returns to the deck, but there is a lot of bronzes being drawn when there's a majority, or sorry, 50-50 split between golds remaining in the deck to bronzes. Actually keeps Spring Equinox, so maybe it is actually going to be double rebuke on the Simless, and yeah, even keeps it for the Vandal, with the last draw getting this Isengrim's Council now. So goes into Caranthe makes sense, because this Caranthe would have quickly been losing value with the Frost playing first, not having good chances to get the Frost damage through. And as we mentioned, also no real good ways to apply Frost remaining unless you're gonna go for the Ardgaith off of that Naglfar. But there's only Ardgaith and Morvid remaining in deck here for Dauren, so that would be quite a nice Naglfar to guarantee that top deck with that Morvid. It's quite imperative, I'd say, for Dauren to maintain that last say, because otherwise Lerio could just say, haha, my Eskel Pathfinder is going to kill your Morvid. What do you say, Kungfu?
I don't know what does Kungfu say. Kinda awkward here for Lerio. I might admit that 19-point drop that doesn't shrink and you cannot interact with makes you commit. At the moment we see Lerio. He needs a lot of points, and I'm not sure how is he doing them in a normal manner. The Seamless being split makes it awkward, but that was like a conscious decision as well.
I think a leader and Seamless rebukes would do the trick here.
But that's like the Seamless out. You are with the Gort, you don't have the last say to deal with the Morwood finisher. I don't know.
It doesn't feel good, does it?
This doesn't feel good for Lerio at all.
Unless Philavandrel can do it alone somehow, but I don't know what pool would do that at just 5 power.
You are no lunet of mine.
Okay, so...
Look, and yes, the Simless is gone, but at least you still have the Spring Equinoxes.
Does it exactly to 1 point? Equinoxes are what, 11-point place?
Yeah. Yeah, there's not really a way to get Symbiosis remaining, but yeah, they are still pretty decent.
Yeah.
I don't think you even want the Eskel in hand right now, because you'd be expecting Morwood to just be played last, and the rest of the units in deck are elves here for the monsters.
10 provision
So-
card, by the way. Unfortunate.
Yeah,
but not
would you
like
rather-
Geralt would perform better here in this round, most likely. As everything is
No,
playing below
'cause-
the Geralt value, so...
Yeah, even with the 1 point boost from the Frost, they'll all just be shy. Actually, no.
Okay,
If Oberon
yeah,
comes down
Oberon.
first, you could get double buff, but
Yeah.
kind of. So it's going to be this called the Forest only has Foul as a potential target, which can allow you to then get the crest straight away with a Dryad body on board. Might be the best proactive choice.
Okay, so how much does it play into Frost? Does it even matter? Okay, stays on the same row, but there is no art gate. At the moment it will be, of course, coming from Naglfar later. The fight for dominance is real, and 5 challenges added in here. With removal gun. You can
Look,
create a monstrous foe there.
yeah. Very sad Odd Gaith here, I'd say. This Red Rider's also not looking great. So that, yes, whilst this Auburn and Morbid are very great, this Frost is almost playing for like this Red Riders is doing nothing unless some Treants start spawning on the back row. But then it's only kind of 1 point per turn even.
He's okay, the Treants actually
Good rolls.
well mannered for Lerio and stay
Yeah,
on the
I mean,
front row.
I know they're called Treants, but they're not wandering from this front row. Okay, well, there's the bruiser.
Yeah. All the efforts by Treants just negated. I was wondering what's the best pull. You also have Red Riders to consider here. I guess that kind of makes sense as well.
Okay, and this is really nice because now, yeah, okay, sure. Circle Life, it's a crappy 4P. It's only playing for like 5 points itself, right? But it's going to give a boost to Philavandrel to allow the frog mating season to be created. Which, yes, the frog mating season won't
finisher.
fully resolve, but still a lot of points.
We shall conquer this.
And that's 19-point finisher
Should do it, right?
for Dauren, and Lerio still has... wait, no, Leader Charge was already out. Wait... Proc, Vitality. And 19, not 20. Okay, this definitely didn't look like the result we got. At least from my point of view, the seamless rebukes reach play.
I think if one Treant went on the other row and Frost actually got an earlier tick, that could have gone differently, right?
It should, yeah, like the first turns where there was nothing.
Oh my gosh.
But okay, that's why Nature's Gift is OP. And let's go. So, Syndicate against Frost, yeah. Frost from Red Coin can bully pretty well as you set up damage, you move things, and if any dex wants a unit present on the board, this is the Pirate's Cove. It needs units and needs them surviving, and it plays like Little Birds buff and stuff, so the units won't be 1 power as well. Yeah. Frost should get value. The hand looks... Well, you probably don't want more wood there, but considering you might not draw it otherwise somehow, I wasn't following mulligans quite close for Dauren there.
No Aristocrat, I think, has got to hurt a little bit. Because this curve, I mean, okay, it'll probably just get pulling the strings in a couple turns, but at least then you'd be threatening the early pulling the strings, and forcing the opponent to actually have that in hand. And the nice thing about, say, like an aristocrat is it's an engine which does a lot for you, but doesn't do anything if the opponent takes it.
That's an early maximum value foglet. Can you do anything about? Well, you can roll the Shady Vendor.
This next turn we could see, you know, the spending such insanity on the BGF to knock it down to 4, and then have the strings pulled out the front of it. By the way, I assume you don't want me to predict on who will win game 2 on your channel.
Yeah, you can avoid predicting. I also made a prediction for the end of the previous series, and considering we were on delay and the bracket was public, that wasn't the smartest. But who profited? Who was smart enough? Yeah, you guys got scammed apparently. I didn't think about it. Now Matol, since we're using different bracket, is running those. Okay, so yeah, 12-point leader was committed, Art gave, which means that's a long way to go to knock down this ancient forfeit. You have Tiger's Eye.
I only loot corpses, except sometimes they're quite fresh.
So this means, yeah, you can afford to only knock it to 5 power. But then you've got to protect this BGF in the next turn, I'd say. A Bruiser here would be really nice to kill off the Mutant Maker. But yeah, Little Bird this next turn would be quite good.
Yeah. Or we can see, yeah, this does allow... Well, you cannot protect it from Junior anyway. You need a lot of frost for that to happen.
And yeah, there are poisons in the Syndicate deck, but apart from the poisons, there isn't a direct, like, one-turn Toll Punish. So you can afford to go a bit tall and play around them a little bit. Especially since you have this Purify in hand anyways. I don't think Dauren has much need to be worried about the poisons. Or keep in mind, you do need Dominance to purify an allied unit with this Naglfar Taskmaster.
Right, so Little Bird, as you mentioned, protecting, not protecting BJF because, yeah, that's investing points into the Frost, I suppose.
Yeah. Since, yeah.
Okay, Dominance, and I guess, it's kind of weird. Like, yeah, the Winter Queen is not growing anymore with the help of Navigator here, but at the same time it remains a target for removal. And well, if she dies, can Dauren still contest the round? We've seen him play like Tirnelia early on, and an Elf Conqueror is only what, 8-point play, but there is still some frost ticking. Naglfar, how bad is it? It costs you a control or Eridine. I guess it's not the worst thing in the world. Like, you're not choosing between Oberon King and I don't know, Morwood in round 1. So the bad round 1 cards are actually in hand.
But yeah, so you do see the poison now for Lerio. A bit slower. Still 4 gangs on board. Mutant Maker's doing a lot of heavy lifting in that regard. This could be one of the situations where we do see the round 1 Novigrad into a loss for Lerio, sort of giving that up to protect against a potential round 2 bleed. In particular, if we see the turn earlier, I would not be surprised if Novigrad just gets played in response to kind of match pair for pair the resilience locations.
Yeah. So finally, I've seen it. Taskmaster value achieved. on a Purify. It often is just there to like feed Tirnalia by 1 extra point and to be an option, but quite often people are not really using it to remove poisons.
Yeah. And yeah, there was the option of the Fist Tech from this Furker, but sure, Lerio is basically saying, okay, you go for the Purify. I'm just going to use Furker then. Pull the strings.
Pretty nice point swing. Putin Lerio once again ahead. He's surviving this winter weather.
Yeah, Frost certainly losing value now. Conqueror would be just short of staying ahead. So yeah, we end up seeing the leader commitment in addition to the Conqueror.
Ha! Yet another horde for my collection.
Little bird now under a little bit of threat, shrinking a little bit. Man, now a very little bird.
Collusion buffs it up, does it? Yeah.
Are we gonna see another round 1 collusion? I mean, I think
this time it looks like a better collusion when
yes,
and potentially actually like putting pressure on your pushing opponent. I think Dauren is already out of leader charges.
You're missing a card up, but I think you have the remaining tags. Yeah, it could work for sure.
Maybe Junior to deal with the Winter Queen. I'm not sure how much more Frost you expect. Heartgate and Leader and Red Riders were already out, so maybe you're not that concerned. Okay, so Collusion is the choice. The little bird is safe to spend more.
Kung Fu with the professional predict.
So things start to get awkward. Gold hand, 2 cards you don't want to play. Tirnalia, you potentially would have wanted that for round 2 play. Naglfar has well, everything is probably late to the party, although there are still like 3 turns of Frost. And for now you have dominance, although you can lose it. Lerio amassed enough coins for the Shady Vendor. Okay, so Tirnalia and doesn't believe in double poison anymore. But yes, yeah, I still don't see, like, sure, Tirnalia provides some frost if you click the Red Riders. But other than that, this Winter Queen is not generating too many, like, maybe doesn't require the overreaction.
It does Lerio contest here with Novigrad, saying that I can spend enough on the Sea Jackals and the Little Bird to keep the lead? Or is it gonna be maybe just a Shady Vendor if you decide to play into this? Could also just be a pass as well. You have the Tirnalia, you're forcing the opponent to push into you. They've already used a Navigator, they'll need to draw another one from deck. They're not really going to have that much frost remaining on board to carry over into the next round. Naglfar for Wrath, interesting.
Yeah, okay, so Eredin is saved. Eredin, of course, is another target for Junior, potentially.
Yeah, the current there I think is going to be like about, I think it'll end up being 13 points at the start of next round if it does get found. Because keep in mind, the girls in the Naglfar being used, that is the consistency now. They're still Riptide and Current in deck for Frost, so those need to actually be found.
Yeah, Current is also a card that you probably want to have a tutor for, otherwise it just it end up as a 1 power or like 5 power goal.
If you don't get it this round, it's looking quite sketchy. And the nice thing about, yes, you didn't get the Novigrad Resilience last round, but it's really good as an opener into Frost because you're not developing your board with units. You are just developing that sort of uninteractive flexibility which Frost does not like to play against.
Okay, The thing I also haven't seen, I think, during this qualis is, and I've seen like Dauren and Lerio play Frost, is Oberon, but it's not even Form 3 Oberon, it's Invader that does the deed here, so pretty decent.
So I wonder if we just see a slower play with just casino bounces coming out for Lerio. I mean, you'd be expecting, and I mean, maybe Navigator more Frost from this Tonaliar getting clicked. Potentially the Arden.
I suppose
this would be vulnerable to Riptide.
I suppose Bouncers is like two bodies. One of them is getting potentially that moved, and Frost is getting away. So maybe that's was consideration.
That's true. There's the threat of that Bruiser. But now we can just get the Horse and Junior. And then the nice thing is with Tondril already on board, it plays a lot more effectively. In fact, you can quote-unquote over-profit with the damage, or over-damage to turn into profit. Yeah. A lot better than sort of using the Junior than needing the 3 coins. You end up being able to do that a lot more efficiently. Yeah, I don't think you're getting the lead right now, but not half bad. Opponent is spending, you know, the Auron and the Aradin have been used already, and you're, I think, kind of committing less in response. And having no regret taking next round will be nice.
Navigator A, but at least the second one is a little bit better. Still not too exciting. So Mastermind should be forced out here.
Yeah, this is 2 tags right now. Yeah, you could definitely be Mastermind to get ahead, and then even end up floating a failed experiment, and then finishing with a poison to get rid of the Morvid next round. So that is something that you can do, even without that 1-turn 12 punish resolution normally. But a bit of slow play actually with just the Shady Vendor.
Could you say what you'd never ask?
Could be the Fire Swarm tags. But, okay, nice bounty.
Yeah, the bounty value is nice, spent with
One man's battlefield is another man's ripe patch for
spent with the Jackal, so
That does the trick.
okay. And Morwood landing for effectively 16. Wait,
I mean,
yeah. Even not 16, but 18.
Yeah. I mean, if you commit Morvid here, you really don't have much left for the final round. Krant is...
What do you mean? There is a Karantar Golden Child. We just seen him land for like 20 points before. What do you mean you have nothing left? So small.
This is not Krante Golden Child, this is Krante Bronze Baby. Okay.
So, Gold Hand?
Yeah, Salamander, the failed experiment is going to be amazing here. With that and the Fistek Trafficker as sort of the last 2 cards. I expect that we'll just end up seeing sort of the Siggy Reuven onto Jacques and something else. We'll end up needing the actual coins in hand. Ooh, okay, gets the bank. That can be quite nice. Now you have the option of, if you're able to have it so that the Fistek Trafficker is the only blind eye in deck, you can Siggy Reuven last say. Yeah, you just need to make sure that your Siggy Reuven tribute costs enough that the King of Beggars comes out before you get the choice.
Okay, goes for the bank opener. So
Yeah.
that sacrifices
Nice.
Jacques
I must act.
to the rift. Ah, wait, yeah, you buffed to 11.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how many coins
Playing
there
around.
was. Yeah, the problem with Golden Child, you have to play that before like doing anything. You have the Aristocrat, and yeah,
It's
the
just-
Frost is out of Frost. The season
I think
changes.
this round of White Frost is one of the most honest decks we have. We have a Caranthea being a literal 8 for 8, the Anel Aristocrat being a literal 4 for 4. Okay, Morbid and Riptide are playing for a little more than Provisions, but still nothing super crazy.
That's really unfortunate for Dauren, but I guess he wasn't expecting much from a long round. So what, 11 point Riptide?
Yeah, there's still the threat of direct damage, so that you might want to heal.
What? Wait. Is there?
Heal
There
the
was only
shock.
there was
No.
only one. I think there was only one coin in there. And this is also what missing category. So
You could have had a 7-point healer, I think, right? Is it a 2 or 3-point body? Would have been a 5-point heal. Could have been insane value.
yeah, but you don't have coins.
Yeah.
Okay, and you kind of need. Well, although the attacks are not dying anymore, but at the same time you only had Firesworn and Salamander attacks, and she would have been Blind Eye. So I guess the third would have come in as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
so cool. Well, not so cool for the Frost player. Complete lack of Frost and all that.
Yeah,
makes
literally not cool when you don't have frost. It's not cold, it's not cool.
Where is the game score? Okay, so Lerio moves closer to qualifier.
Yeah, onto match point.
And wins.
Yeah, no, I was thinking in my head, like, is this poison still going to work onto the Morbid? Because now this Sea Riven isn't really spending anything on the tribute. I'm not sure if it's actually going to pull out the King of Beggars even.
Okay, so Lerio 2, Dauren 1, the lower bracket final ongoing. We are constant here with Lemon. If you have been enjoying the tournament, next weekend there will be top 32 qualifiers, so another weekend of Gwent, and then 2 weeks from now it's Gwent World Cup semifinals, and that's gonna be a lot of Gwent as well. Don't miss out on those.
Yeah. And yeah, you certainly don't want to miss the rest of this series either. Very close to seeing who will make the second Open this year. And it's quite interesting because now we have the players essentially reversing what decks they were just playing. Lerio was on Cove last game, now on the Frost. Dauren was on the Frost last game, now on the Cove, and Cove in the blue coin again. It's a bit of, we already see the difference in the Frost. Phantom coming out in this first round. What's the card that's missing on the higher end for Lerio? Is it no Riptide, is it?
Yeah, there is no Riptide.
Yeah, no Riptide.
He plays double Foglet, a Phantom at 7 provisions, so those extra provisions are getting spent on this mid-cost value.
You see this? I mean, Phantom would be a very good pulling the strings target, but Dauren not having access to a BGF right now makes that quite difficult. This is Little Bird choosing who to copy the tag from. Not a collusion, so don't be kind of mixed up. Does take the Crown Splitter, and that is so that the Novigrating Justice will spawn the Cleaver's Muscle when it gets played, probably in the next turn or two.
So yeah, people in Novigrad have been hearing of it for years, that winter is coming, but it's finally here, and we've seen episode 1, now we're witnessing episode 2 here of Frost against Syndicate.
Yeah. So similar, we have an aggressive start with the Frost, and honestly the hand for Dauren looks pretty similar. Notable difference is probably this Justice, because of course Lyrio's list was not playing that Justice, but good little seeds onto the Aristocrats. Makes it a lot harder for Lerio to get the Frost over. Ardgaith is looking pretty solid right now. But but that is really the only way to get the Frost established. Could be a bit risky if you try and get Ancient Fogler on board now before going for the Ardgaith, but that is kind of the optimal sequencing.
So I guess wine was better in Novigrad than in an NL world. So Aristocrat moved into another city and has been enjoying the services of cupbearers there more. So you need to find the correct strings to pull, and you can steal basically anything from any faction.
Too smooth, too smooth. Just like how Lear is combining this Phantom Order as well as the Frost to kill off that little bird. I guess Phantom just chasing down the little bird.
Yeah, it will be feasting, although I'm not sure how much meat there is on the little bird. Phantom seems like one.
Yeah.
Enjoying a pretty big meal. Okay, so
we could end up seeing a movement from the leader potentially in the next turn if Leary doesn't want to lose out on all this Frost value. Particularly with this Sea Jackal being played, suddenly moving the Sea Jackal to the other row looks a lot more tempting. Could be a BGF to get rid of the Winter Queen here. Doesn't seem half bad.
Yeah, there is only one coin, although you get more coins from the cashback, I guess, yeah. So that's
actually that would be, that would be way too
that's not updated, but yeah, 9 coin kill.
Yeah.
Goes the BGF.
Okay, it does get the round win, however. And I mean, to be fair, at this point in the game, the Winter Queen would have effectively been worth 10 points, so I guess the Bloody Good Fun got the bloody good value. It's very different now to the last game. Frost gives off the round 1, saying, okay, you can take the round control, you can set yourself up, but I think that my Frost is able to pick off your units, and I'm able to stop you from outpointing me. Now, we'll definitely see Novigrad at a minimum being played here.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was no Gwent player in history playing the Novigrad deck and not developing it before considering if they are passing and taking a long round 3 or playing into this. See Novigrad played out.
Yeah.
People even do that. Sorry?
The flowchart is if in round 2, if I have more than 7 cards in hand, play Novigrad. It's just like that.
Sometimes it leads to what we've seen yesterday with the heist play, of course. People just slamming Novigrad and passing when they were not supposed, but that's just the reflex. I have Novigrad, 8 cards, I played a card pass. Seen it down on ladder at the very least. But yeah, Dauren passes here correctly after winning round 1, so all is fine for him. Doesn't lead to a tragedy. So Lerio with Tirnalia, and also decides to get the carryover, dumping 1 Red Rider here. So the Tirnalia's value is 3 and 0. Tirnalia is also smaller in Lerio's deck. Dauren was playing on ladder. The deck that I've seen him use in the league was buffing by 10, but he omitted the newly buffed Wild Hunt Hound. Didn't find value at spot for her, I guess, even at 4 provisions. So sacrificed in his list. Lerio sacrificed more for Foglet. It is not running a Purify, is not running a runs Warrior, doesn't run something else besides the Purify.
Like a lot of these 4Ps are kind of crucial, like double Riders, double Aristocrat, double Navigator. You really don't want to be running one off any of those cards. Then there's only really room for the Conqueror and Warrior for these sort of remaining, just building up the Tirnalia value.
So is this victory for Lerio and the end of it, or do we actually see the end of the world where elf is fighting an elf and you definitely need to be avoiding eating the yellow snow and all that in the showdown between two frosts? Well, one round left and potentially, yeah, another game awaits us, so let's see. The frost will be on the board. There is still Artgave, there is Red Riders and double leader, so I guess this is almost entire round of frost being on both rows, or close to that.
Yeah, it's already interesting to me to see how differently the two players are playing the White Frosts. You see they're immediately using the Red Riders from the turn at the start of the round in conjunction with the Anel Aristocrat, kind of saying, I'm expecting this Anel Aristocrat to get dealt with, but I want to get the immediate value with the extra turns off the Frost. And to be fair, with the sort of Red Riders and Ardgaith, you will have enough Frost for sure to have it playing throughout this whole round. Also, you have double leader still. So potentially this BGF might be moved to the opposite row. Could see a Foglet coming down right now, protected against the poison if it goes tall enough, but there's really no way for Dauren to deal with it.
Okay, so I remember this moment. We might see this Karantar Golden Child being a young boy, but let's see where he ends up.
Yes,
it is the origin story of the Karantar Golden Child. It all started with a 2 boost.
There's maybe an argument to just go for the Navigator this turn, whilst the
nice Frost.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. I mean, although, yeah, maybe it makes sense playing the Ardgaith while you still have the Aristocrat on board. It would be nice to make the movement order, considering how it will be likely that Dauren will just stack a single row. Yeah, but Dauren just splits the rows here. Okay.
Yes, it was always bound to happen, but yeah, there is, I guess, some control that you might force of Lerio's movement, like if he wants to kill someone or lower the power of something in particular, so that might have been a consideration.
Ancient Foglet should be able to get the dominance for the White Frost and then make this Navigator quite good. Naglfar is pulling Oberon, by the way. That is what the only choice of the Naglfar.
Okay,
yeah. You'd expect Red Riders to replay the Navigator. Otherwise, it's really not looking great, the Red Riders. Maybe it could replace something the Oberon gets. In fact, Oberon is likely going Navigator with this kind of setup, right? We'll have a lot of super tall units for Dauren. Okay.
Okay, so the values of Frost are astronomical. It's 19 ticks of it and only 7 turns. Where is the analog of Skellige card that just converts all the rain into points?
Yeah.
Winter Queen can be like a Fukusha, so we need the counterpart introduced into the faction as well.
So I think, yeah, so it makes sense, I think, to go Oberon before the Navigator from hand. This way you just get a few more extra buffs onto these Navigators. And yes, good luck dealing with this super tall Oberon as well, by the way.
Yeah. This is some frosty maneuvers from Lerio here. This Navigator should kinda go.
Be ashamed to let this beauty
Okay. This
How about this one?
okay, pulling the strings onto the navigator, it seems.
Yeah.
Quite important high roll there to potentially deny this Red Riders.
How is the second one dying? It's at 4 power, 5 power. Yeah, 5 power.
There is a bank for, well, either bank for pulling the strings or Siggy.
Probably Siggy. Also,
Yeah.
like the board state at the moment. Can you fit everything like Collusion, Fire Swarm?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I've seen, I think it was Sanvander versus Slonas, and yeah, that was exactly
Yeah.
the issue. Of,
Yeah,
like,
I've seen it as
overswarming.
well. Like, yeah, because Collusion
It wasn't
spawns 3
against Frost, but
zealots. Yeah, and the good thing is Frost hits the tallest unit. It's not going to be finishing off any kills. So yeah, this is suddenly looking quite problematic for Dauren, as you point out.
you're not getting full value from Collusion. Maybe Siggy is playing like bronzes. Maybe you just don't go
Yeah.
for Siggy at all. Or can you?
Yeah. The other thing is if you if you manage to wait for a row to be full, you can just play Navigator opposite the full row and then pulling the strings doesn't work.
Okay. Some breathing space on the range throw.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Lerio is respecting the threat of the second pulling the strings, it seems.
Poisons, not looking too hot.
Yeah, I think the King of Beggars came out the turn the Shady Bend was played. Yeah, Dauren was relying on the additional tag of the King of Beggars, I believe.
So the current here, his story continues. He's at 17 power unit now.
Actually, no, I think it had all 6 tags at that point.
And poisons are still a threat, so the current are Golden Child, but the beauty of having infinite frost value is that you just continue. Yeah. Okay, so Lerio, I guess, doesn't believe in Navigator surviving.
No.
And yeah, the
I think
board
it's
space
wise.
doesn't allow.
Although maybe if there was patience, you could have moved something on the front row and then.
Yeah, maybe there was something to do.
But then maybe Dauren would have played that front row in anticipation if the second Red Riders was still available. This is now the click of the Novigrad. Mutant definitely not good here. Can get the additional poison of the mutated hounds. That can be used offensively, but not super huge poison targets right now.
Yeah. The Red Riders are out, so there is no way to replay it. So I guess there is not actually any pressing need to do this.
So this is, yeah, there was a turn of 6 damage for the Kranthi Golden Child, but I think that was used on when the Navigator was played instead. So, I mean, technically it's more points to play the Kranthi first because Morbid would have grown by 1, but this way you're playing around potential poisons that could come from these last 2 cards. Although, realistically, if you look at what's remaining in the deck, the only way to have that go through would be if it was like, okay, maybe Fist Tech in hand and then Siggy into Fist Tech Collusion. Maybe that would take the lead and you're worried about that. Ooh, Siggy right at the bottom. Does cost the maximum number of coins there, and this tribute is free.
Be so kind as to follow me.
My fist
So,
purity is purity.
no tribute, yeah, poison. Collusion is playing 4 points, you still have some coins, but 98. Lerio also, I guess, investing all this frost into Novigrad Bank, and we have the second participant of Community Gwent Open. 3-1.
Well played.
So yeah, the Lerio getting win with this first, something Dauren couldn't do with his own. Ends the series, ends the top 8 qualifying stage. Thank you for all the players, for all the viewers. Thanks Lemon, Salty, Matol for casting and participating. Well done by the Matol. It was once again quite a smooth run, even if we had like a slight delay.
Yeah, I should probably get some sleep before my mid-semester test tomorrow.
Okay, good luck with that. Thanks for participating in Gwent while having that looming over